everyone, Mitch coming in from the Chimera's Core studio. Welcome to the show. Alright, so spoiler season week 2 begins, and we've got a haymaker to start. Let's jump into it. So let's talk about Rot Curse Rakshasa, a mythic, a 5/5 trampling demon for just 2 mana. And if it was just that, it might not even surprise me all that much with the power creep these days. That being said, there is a downside, but then actually an upside, which kind of makes that downside into an upside-ish. It has Decayed, which means that it can't block, but blocking, who cares about blocking? We're all about attacking here, right? On top of that, though, of course, when it attacks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. So basically, you get one swing with it, and you're hitting for a good amount, obviously. That being said, when it's in your graveyard, that's where it does a lot of work for you because it has Renew, so you can play it out of your graveyard by paying X black, exiling it from your graveyard. You put a Decayed counter on each of X target creatures, activate only as a sorcery. Now, obviously, sorcery speed, slows it down a bit. I mean, that's just what it does, sure. It makes it so you can't be as flexible with it. That being said, that is still very powerful. That is kind of like a pseudo removal in a way, like a delayed removal, or at the very least being like, hey, your creatures are nowhere near as effective anymore. So this is a heavy hitter right away. Again, you get it out, you swing, you hit someone, you take something out, whatever you're doing with it. A demon tribal deck, obviously you can consider it, or like a Power Matters deck, like my Hotline Fling Mr. Orfeo deck might consider it as well, because that is a decent amount of power again for just 2 mana. And then all of a sudden when it's in your graveyard, you're like, yeah, okay, you all have those very powerful creatures out there. Let's just make them a lot worse. Here, they all have Decayed, and all of a sudden, now you can't block. So obviously, it can really help you in attacking as well. It can be like, oh, okay, cool. I need to finish that player off. They've got a good army or whatever. Your army can't block anymore. I swing through, I take you out. That's one part of it. But obviously, the other part is, oh, hey, those creatures, yeah, you can only attack once with them, and then you got to sacrifice them. So too bad. I also kind of like a aristocrat strategy kind of deck might consider this as well. It's a self-sacrificing creature that also, basically makes it so that you can take out your opponent's things if you need to, or target your own creatures to sacrifice them essentially to ensure that they die and you get your Blood Artist triggers and whatnot. So yeah, there's some really cool plays with this one. It's a very sweet, and I love the design of this card. Next up, Quarry Steel Cutter. Speaking of a cool design, equip for 2 mana, equip 2. Well, 1 in a red, you know what I mean. Alright, equip creature gets +1 and has trample and haste. Flurry, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature with prowess. You may attach this equipment to it. So, this is a very cool card. It's kind of like a mini monastery mentor in a way, which is a mouthful. But yeah, being able to essentially make you, again, a 1/1 prowess monk on your second spell cast, which if you're throwing this in a deck, you're going to be casting multiple spells in a turn, obviously. So prowess is really good with it. On top of that, just being able to auto-equip an equipment is huge, saving on that. And giving that monk +1 trample and haste is quite nice. So there's a lot going on with this one, and of course, just in general, when it comes to things that give trample, things that give haste with equipment, there's already commanders out there that just want to consider those anyways because, I want to swing with my commander right away. I want to be able to get through with damage on my commander as well. And then obviously going wide, as well is quite nice too. So yeah, spell slinger decks as well. There's a lot of cool things that can work with this one. Next up, Loxodon in Battle Priest. 3/5 Elfin Cleric for 5 mana. At the beginning of combat of your turn, put a counter on a target creature control. Limited card. Not really much else to discuss with this one. Next up, Ureni of the Unwritten. Now, in this spoiler season, there have been just a few things that I have not been able to do episodes on yet because it's been a hectic spoiler season for myself, so my apologies. So now I'm going to be catching up a little bit with the, I believe these are the Commander Precon cards that I missed. So here we go, really quick. 7/7 Spirit Dragon for 7 mana in Teamer. Flying Trample Flample. Whenever it enters or attacks, look at top 8 cards of your library. Put a Dragon creature card from one of them on the battlefield with the rest of your library, random order. Kind of like a mini Dragon attack-ish, kind of. Like, hey, top 8. You don't get to draw all those and cheat a permanent into play, but you get to get a Dragon to play. So it's still pretty powerful, obviously, and it being a 7/7 Flampler in red, meaning, and green too, I guess, with all the, power doubling things as well. You can very easily turn this into a double shot, a 2-shot KO. I was thinking of double strike at the same time. Double strike in red. A 2-shot KO or even a 1-shot KO quite easily. But yeah, like dragon, tribal, big dragons, extra attacks obviously can really help with this one too. Cheating giant dragons into play. Could be quite fun, quite nice. Interesting. Next up, Will the Jeskai, sorcery for 4 mana, choose one. If you control a commander who casts a spell, choose both instead. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. Wizards with the May, come on. The force wheels are probably gone these days. Wizards is like, wheels are kind of annoying to some players. Okay, let's stop that. So yeah, everyone can choose to discard their hand and draw 5. Not a full wheel, but again, it's 4 mana, so yeah, sure, alright, and flexible. Each instant sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost equal to its mana cost. So, yeah, like, or what's the flame, whatever that one is. Oh, gosh, I should know the name of that one. It's escaping me. Anyways, help me out in the comments below. It's a pretty cool will card, and, yeah, I mean, if you've got a deck that likes discarding, likes drawing a bunch of cards, and also like getting things out of the graveyard too, Spellslinger type of deck, could be good. Moving on. Aligned Heart. We've got an enchantment for 3 mana. Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a rally counter with this enchantment, then create a 1/1 white monk creature with prowess for each rally counter on it. Interesting. So again, like Monastery Mentor-ish, but again, based off the second spell each turn. Is Flurry based on second? Oh, there we go. I think that's, is that finally something? So yeah, being able to essentially be like, all right, you know what? If I'm casting multiple spells, great, good for me. I can gain more counters on this. Here's the thing as well, though. You kind of only need one counter at a certain point to really get things going with certain strategies out there. If you've got, like, Proliferate, obviously, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I got one counter on it, then I've got all these Proliferate effects, and all of a sudden I've got 10 counters on it, and then I cast 2 spells at a turn, and I make a massive army. Again, obviously. Now, obviously, with a Spellslinger type strategy, you can really take advantage of this because you're not only going wide. Again, it's each turn. Keep in mind, each turn, not just your own. But you're also going to be, again, making an army that is just little 1/1s, but when you are, again, casting spell after spell after spell, you can make a just absolutely powerful army with all that prowess. So, yeah, I mean, like, Spellslinger, Storm, Artifact, Spellslinger, any kind of combination. Consider it. Enchantment, Spellslinger, I guess. That's probably not a thing. Maybe it is. Moving on. Next Strike Leader. A 2/2 Dog Warrior for 2 mana. Whenever you attack with this creature and/or your commander for each opponent, create a tapped Create a 1/1 red goblin creature token tapped attacking that player. Sacrifice creature tokens you control again indestructible till end of turn. Okay, so again, a low to the ground creature that makes a bunch of creatures. Yeah, that's quite nice. Again, this creature and/or your commander for each opponent, you're making a 1/1. So it's a 2/2 that makes 3 creatures. Quite nice. And then also you can sacrifice to protect your tokens. This seems like, well, a shoe-in for a go-wide strategy, a creature token production type deck. It is interesting that this is a dog warrior riding a cat that also makes goblins. Someone explain to me what in the world is going on here, but yeah, this is apparently what's going on here. So yeah, it's a very good card for those decks, obviously. Moving on. Got Gold Lust Triad, a 4/3 dragon with flying and Myriad for 5 mana. Whenever this creature is combined to a player, create treasure token. Okay, so again, with Myriad and with Evasion right there, that is probably, I mean, about, 2 to 3 treasures each turn, essentially, if you can keep attacking with it. Obviously, if you've got extra combats as well, that's even more. This can get quite gross. Absolutely gross. I mean, this plus Goldspan Dragon plus, Aggravated Assault, Relentless Assault, whatever the one is, the enchantment, infinite combats. Have fun. Cool, because those treasures are not tapped. Quite fun. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Tribal can definitely consider it. Obviously, treasure creating decks consider it too. Myriad decks, which I'm sure are a thing. There you go as well. And extra combats too. Cool. All right. Tempest Technique. Aura. Enchantment for 4 mana with Storm. Is this our very first enchantment that has Storm? There's probably another one out there, but it's one of few at least. Enchant creature control. Enchant creature gets +1 for each enchantment you control. Pretty crazy. So, yeah, being able to just massively pump, essentially, a lot of creatures. Again, this is an enchantment. It does not have flash itself, so you are limited to utilizing this as a storm card on your turn. That being said, a lot of other storm cards on your turn, and a lot of times when you are storming off, it usually is on your turn. You can still take advantage of your opponent's casting spells, obviously, but still. Yeah, I mean, this is, if you've got a storm strategy, this could be a great finisher for you. If you've got an enchantress strategy that has a lot of low to the ground enchantments, yeah, you can do some crazy things with this. Yes, at this Arvisan, yeah, that's gonna be quite fun. So yeah, I mean, being able to get a bunch of enchantments in play as well. Keep in mind, like, I mean, constellation triggers off this, gross and amazing. Enchantress type effects are like when it enters like Eidolon of Blossoms, that's constellation, I guess, versus cast, still. Absolutely crazy. Have fun. Yeah, it's a cool card. It's a very cool card. So, yeah, have fun. Have fun. All right, next up, Transcend Dragon. 4/3 dragon with flash and flying for 6 mana in blue. When this creature enters, if you cast it, counter target spell. If that spell's countered this way, exile instead of putting it in its owner's graveyard, then you may cast it paying its mana cost. Stealing an opponent's spell? Mean! I mean, we've seen this kind of a card before. That being said, I don't believe we've really seen it on a dragon. So, yeah, being able to just, like, spelljack, essentially, something, and also get a 4/3 dragon out of it, and on top of that, again, it's a relevant creature type. So, yeah, a dragon deck can definitely consider this one as pseudo-removal counter steal, I guess is the words for it. But, yeah, Dragon only costs you 5 mana instead of 6. Have fun. Next up, Voracious Bibliophile. These books are not in order. 3/3 drag with flying vigilance for 4 mana in blue. Whenever you cast a spell with one of our targets, draw that many cards. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the names escape me right now. It's early right now when I'm recording this one. The Jeskai commander that targets multiple things and benefits you by reducing the cost. That one. You know what I'm talking about. It's got Flample. Does it have Flample? Anyways. That one really will love this card. You're going to be drawing an absurd amount of cards. Have fun. Yeah, if you've got a deck that has a lot of target spells with targeting a lot of things, have fun. Draw that many. Again, that's just disgusting. Like, Aether Gale plus this equals, hey, yeah, 6 cards drawn for 5 mana, bouncing 6 things. What's not to love about that? And I said 5 mana, but again, for that deck, it'd be 2 mana. Have fun. Moving on. Zurgo Stormrender. I rend the storm. 3/3 Orc Warrior for 3 mana in Jeskai, mobilize 1. So again, when it attacks, you get a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token, sacrifice big next end step. Of course, Zurgo is not riding a dog that has goblins with it for some reason, so it's different than the other one. I don't know why. Anyways, mobilizing is different than making goblins. Whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking, otherwise each opponent loses 1 life. That seems really, 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 really good. I mean, that seems like a way to make a ton of... I mean, we've seen a commander somewhat like this before. Gosh, there was the uncommon one. Oh, it's escaping me right now. That one was just in... was that just in Golgari? I think it was just in... Not Golgari. It was just in Rakdos. There we go. This is in Mardu, though, and yeah, getting white in here obviously gives you a lot of additional creature token production. There's a ton of great creature token production in that as well. It's a great combination for those things, especially since you've got now Annoy Procession, and the new Elspeth, Odger Talk, and ways to double and triple up your tokens. Gross. Disgusting. Yeah, being able to maybe have like some free sacrifice outlets out there, like a Viserys here. You can choose to be like, okay, yeah, my creature token is leaving the battlefield because it was attacking, because I swung. Even if my opponent doesn't block, I'm like, well, I want to draw some cards. I'll sacrifice, 5 of my warriors or whatever. Cool. All right. And if not, you can use a finisher as well. Maybe some life loss doubling effects like Moon Reflection. Seems gross. Seems awesome. Would work with Myriad really well too. Moving on. Redoubled Storm Singer. 3/3 Orc Wizard, first strike for 3 mana in red. Whenever this creature attacks, for each creature token you control that's entered the battlefield, entered this turn, I should say, create a tapped and attacking tokens copy of that token at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice those tokens. The word token is used a lot in this. Yeah, being able to actually be able to, have extra tokens. Again, literally just be like, okay, I made tokens, I get more tokens, and they're tapped and attacking already. I have to sacrifice them. But of course, for certain strategies out there, ones that might utilize ending the turn type effects, essentially, yeah, you can get around that. I guess another weird way to get around that is the other Zurgo and Masquid Nexus. That could actually stop that too, sure. That being said, yeah, if you've got a creature token producing deck, being able to double that up just for combat could be nice. Obviously, this goes into danger to do so, but if you do have one that's more like clone creature token producing ones, where you can get like ETBs off of like copying awesome creatures, you can do some really crazy things with this. Moving on. Caldera Pyrma, a 3/3 dragon with flying for 5 mana in red. Look at Wizards holding off on putting an absurd amount of power on everything these days. Excuse me, wait, no. Whenever you cast a source spell, put a counter on this creature, then it deals damage with its power to target opponent. Okay, there we go. That's why its power is only 3 to start. So basically, yeah, hey, being able to not target anything, obviously, but targeting an opponent, I'd probably usually rather target opponent, actually, really, when it comes to this kind of a thing, than, like, creatures. Creatures are nice. You could take out them, and this could become, like, a board wipe, but it is not. Just taking out your opponents is pretty absurd with this. If you have got, like, a spell slinger type strategy, a storm type strategy, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, spell, that opponent's gone. Spell, that opponent's gone. You can do things pretty quickly with that. When it comes to, like, will this see play, like, in a dragon deck itself, really depends on, like, how many instant sorceries you have. So if you don't have a lot, don't worry about it. If you do, cool. But of course, there's other ways to gain power with this. There's other ways to get counters on it, proliferate effects too. So yeah, it's a very cool card, but I think like more interesting, spellslingery, finishery, fun thing. Cool, yeah. Because again, like you're gaining power on it, and you're also just pinging people. And damage doubling too. Have fun! I guess like Group Slug could be there too. Moving on. Felothar the Steadfast. What is that? Is that like a mole? Or like a, I don't, what kind of animal is that? I don't know. 0/5 human warrior for 4 mana in Abzan. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Yes, I love seeing this. Keep going. Creature you control can attack as a living defender. Pay 3, tap, sacrifice creature, draw cards equal to sacrifice creature's toughness. To discard cards equal to its power. That is spicy. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so basically, walls. Everyday walls. So another kind of like Kotis the Strategist commander. But instead of like, hey, defender ETBs, draw a card, it's like, hey, let's just get out some really big walls and other creatures with defender too. And they don't even have to have defender really, because like you just have creatures that have a giant amount of toughness and no power. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just swap you. And not swap you. I'll sacrifice you and just gain a ton of life. Or not gain a ton of life, draw a ton of cards. But being able to essentially, I mean, even like benefit off of just very easy things like Slagworm Armor. That's an extra 6 toughness. An equipment that gives that extra 6 toughness, you just throw that on any of your creatures, sacrifice it, you're drawing 6 extra cards. You have the discard based on power, but again, like with a lot of these creatures you're going to have like no power to creatures, or just like minimal power, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Yeah, it's a really cool card. Definitely have some ways to benefit from drawing cards, ways to drain your opponents from drawing cards as well, like Psychosis Crawler could be pretty gross too. Have fun. This is a cool commander. I think it's going to be pretty popular. Again, Kotis the Strategist was very popular for quite a while. This could bring back the defender kind of tribal type deck with a lot of absurd card draw. Untap effects could obviously work as well. If you're like, I paid 3. You know, oh gosh, I didn't even think about that. Like Mana Dorks plus this, yeah, you can go infinite quite easy. Mana Dorks plus this, plus a good amount of creatures that have toughness that is pretty high. You pay 3, you tap, sacrifice another creature, you draw, say, 10 cards, all right? You got a giant amount of toughness on something. You draw into something that says, hey, untap all your creatures, like a Mobilize. Oh, okay, that's 1 mana. All right, untap all my creatures, untaps this, alt-taps all my Mana Dorks, do it again, and again, and again. You're going to keep drawing into those untap effects. This is gross and I love it. Yay, someone build that right now. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, within range, enchantment for 4 mana in black. When this enchantment enters, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures attacking them. Cool. Okay, so being able to be aggressive on attacks can be quite great with this one. Making 2 1/1s, that's nice. Yeah, that's not too bad. But on top of that, of course, just draining opponents against based on number of creatures attacking them. So, yeah. Being able to essentially just go, okay, I attack you. Lose some life. You got extra combats can help out a lot as well. An aggressive type go wide strategy can really just benefit from something like this. Next up, Inventory Shield. Equipment for 3 mana in red. Equip creature has Menace and Mobilize X for its power when attacks. Create X tap and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token. Sacrifice begin next end step. Equip 2. So yeah, being able to just attach this to a giant creature and now say, you make a ton of creature tokens. There is that one like aura that you kind of like do somewhat of a similar thing where you're like, okay, I then tap my commander or whatever with a power and then it makes this many like 1/1 elementals or whatever it is. This one is more effective because, well, you don't need to do anything with it. You don't have to like, oh, my commander needs to, or the creature I'm attaching, I keep saying commander, but like high power creature, I'm not keeping that out of combat. I actually get to go into combat with it, make a ton of attackers, and also, again, Menace. Nice. A potential way to get my, creature through. So yeah, a good amount of power. A power-based strategy could really utilize something like this. Have fun. Next up, Adaptive Training Post. An artifact for 3 mana in blue. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this artifact has fewer than 3 charge counters on it, put a charge counter on it, remove 3 charge counters from it. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this turn, copy it, you choose targets for the copy. This seems very easily broken? I don't know. It just seems, I guess not very easily. You can get to there quite quickly. Again, you have like a proliferate type effect and get you there. And then, my immediate thought was like extra turns, but obviously there's other things that can double up things for extra turns as well. Usually those things cost quite a bit more though, like Swarm Intelligence, kind of like essentially. Yeah, it's quite good for those types of decks out there. Like a Spell Slinger type approach. Obviously, again, you can't build more charge counters on it than 3. Unless, again, you are proliferating. If you've got proliferate type effects, then you can get there. So that's actually a limitation there. But still, it's a very cool card. It's kind of like a build your own Swarm Intelligence. But, yeah, again, proliferate effects can make that gross. In extra turns, gross. Moving on. Ironwill Forger, a 3/3 Orc Artificer for 4 mana in white. Lieutenant, at the beginning of combat, your turn, if you control your commander, target knowledge creature control gains Myriad until end of turn. Quite good. Again, yeah, you're expected to have your commander in play a lot of the time for most decks in Commander. And when you do, making a non-legendary have Myriad, again, you can't take advantage of, like, death triggers from, like, say, your commander or legendary creature. But being able to say, hey, oh, that really good commander or creature I have over there, or like a Sun Titan that's got like a great ETB, yeah, I can use and abuse that, or attack trigger too. I can use it, abuse it, have fun. So being able to essentially, I guess you can't really take it into the attack trigger, but yeah. It is a really good card for strategies out there that want to make extra copies of non-legendary creatures. Again, like ETBs, stuff like that. Maybe some ways to actually keep them around too. Like, again, if you've got end the turn type effects, have fun. Moving on. We've got Transforming Flourish. An instant for 3 mana in red demonstrates. When you're casting it, you can copy it. If you do, the opponent also copies it. Destroy target artifact creature you don't control. If that permanent is destroyed this way, control exiles from the top of the library to exile a non-land card. May cast a card paying its mana cost. Quite nice. Being able to kind of just replace something in a way. Again, it's something you don't control, so you can't just like polymorph your own thing. That being said, you can technically do that if you're like, hey opponent, I'll make a deal with you. Polymorph my thing, and I'll polymorph your thing. So you could make a deal with it. It could be a weird. It's an interesting political card. Yeah, it definitely is a political card with some like random chance to it. It's pretty cool. Moving on. Shiko and Narset Unified, a 4/4 human spirit dragon, flying vigilance, 4 mana in Jeskai. Flurry. Cast second spell each turn. Copy the spell that targets a permanent or player. You may choose targets for the copy. If you don't copy a spell display, draw a card. Yeah, nice. Okay, so additional casts essentially is what you're going for, and then also doubling certain things up that target. My immediate thought is card Temporal Sundering. There you go. Extra turn spells that can double. Gross. Yeah, there's only so many of those, obviously, luckily, but there's also other very powerful things that you can do that target. So like a spell slinger targeting shenanigans type thing. It's going to be a very popular, very fun commander. Absolutely. Moving on. Bone Devourer. A 2/2 dragon with flash and flying for 4 mana. This creature enters the number of counters on equal number of creatures that died this turn. Again, like anytime I see like creature with a small amount of power that is a dragon for a, little more mana than its power and toughness, it's going to get more power somehow. So essentially, again, flash it in when a lot of creatures died. And when this creature dies, you draw X cards and lose X life for X number of counters on it. 1 life for 1 card is always a deal you will do in Commander. If you've got 40 life, that's completely fine. So this is one that obviously can benefit from, again, proliferate type strategies, +1 counter type strategies, essentially, as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a card that we have seen kind of different versions of it. Like, was it Liliana's Standard Bearer? Is that the one? There's one that basically is like you flash it in and you draw cards dealing with creatures that died that turn. It is slightly different than that, where it's like this can be a heavy hitter out of nowhere. Again, like turn before your turn, like the person's like, well, this is getting obnoxious. I board wipe. And you're like, okay, I flash this in, and all of a sudden it has 20 counters on it, and then I'm swinging at you for 22 next turn. And then when this does die, I get to draw half my deck. Cool, not half my deck, but a lot of cards. Yeah, it's a cool card. Let's see, play like in Dragon decks. It could, like, as like a pseudo draw spell in a way, potentially. Again, like with Ur Dragon, you're just flashing this in for a 3 mana. That's less to hold up, which is quite nice for you. Interesting. Very interesting. Cool card. All right, finally, Kotis Sibsig Champion. A 3/3 zombie warrior that likes to collect hands, apparently. Is that its own hand? I don't know, does it like swap it out? Like, wait 1 second. Now, my regular hand. Look out. For 3 mana in Sultai, 1 string each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard to pay its other cost. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control enter, if 1 or more of them enter from the graveyard, you cast what? If 1 or more of them enter from a graveyard, there we go. It was cast from your graveyard, put it 2 counters on Kotis. Interesting. I'm sure there's some absolutely gross, disgusting, amazing things that you can do with this. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some weird combos that you can do with it as well, like creatures that ETB, like, or die and, like, mill you, like Stitcher Supplier, essentially, things like that, because then you can keep filling up your graveyard more and more and more. I mean, that plus, Phyrexian Altar, probably. I'm sure I'm forgetting other things, too, but there you go. It is only once or each turn, so I guess that does limit it there, but you can just have, like, a complete supply of things to go again and again and again. Yeah, I mean, other than that, just being able to have other things that, again, can enter from your graveyard or being cast from the graveyard, like Blood Gas type things, Reassaulting Skeleton type things. This can hit really hard in absolutely no time as well. Actually, technically, Undying, right, and Persist, too. Yeah, this can get an absurd amount of power in absolutely no time and just demolish your opponents. So it could be a really cool build around for that. Not really a combo-y strategy, more like a graveyard-centric strategy because it does limit. Now that I'm looking further at this art, that is pretty disturbing. It is like a melted hand, just bones inside like the spear of the left hand. Okay, and collecting hands. Something about hands is what this creature is all about. Cool, zombie things. Yeah, distracted by that. Sorry. Yeah, graveyard stuff. Have fun. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.